We'll get started. Our main topic today is smart devices by myself, Tom Kreuzer. As I mentioned just a little bit earlier, you can mute your audio and you can turn off your video until the question and answer at the end of the presentation. Some people, if you don't have a fast internet connection or your PC is a little bit slow, you'll have better video of the screen sharing that we're doing here if you don't have your video active there also. As I mentioned, you can use the chat to ask a question or a comment during the presentation. I'm not currently monitoring the chat, so I'll look at the chat after I get done with the formal here and before we get into question and answers at the end. Handout, like I mentioned, is out on the PC Club website in the past meetings area. We'll cover a few club agenda items and then we'll get to our main topic. The MACSIG, they already had their December meeting, so their next meeting is going to be next year, January 19th. We also do a monthly question and answer online, and the next one will be January 9th. We usually do that the first Tuesday of the month, but because the first Tuesday is January 2nd, we figure people will have a hangover, so we'll give them a chance to recover a little bit before we have the question and answer. And then our next general meeting is going to be January 17th, and the topic there will be Future Tech and Trends by myself, Tom Kreuzer. We'll talk about how things are changing with phones, tablets, Chromebooks, laptops, desktops. Each of these devices has its own pros and cons, and then future trends that we see, and won't go into a whole lot of depth, but talk about a lot of things to be aware of there. These are the officers of the club. Jim Homan is our president. Linda is our vice president. Paula Ebert is our membership secretary. Paula is our treasurer. Chuck's our recording secretary. Mike leads the MACSIG. Andrew is our communication coordinator. I'm Tom Kreuzer. I'm a director at large, and we always try and get people involved there to help out. So we appreciate people volunteering and helping. And there's a little picture from the last picnic that we had in 2019. Hopefully this year maybe we can set something up for the picnic there. Members old and new, you pay your dues to Paul Ebert, and it's not like at the first of the year everybody's subscription lapses. It's whenever you join the club, you get 12 months from whatever month you join. So Paul sends out the notices, and if you haven't got a notice, that means that your membership dues aren't due right now. But also a reminder, if you are changing your email, that's the way we keep in touch and send out notices. So make sure and keep that up to date and let us know. If you do have suggestions for topics, you can email, you can talk to any of the board members. We're always looking for people to volunteer to present on hardware or software that you may use at work or home, or even to write a short article for our monthly eBytes newsletter. Our website, you can view the past meetings, slides, and handouts. Meeting recordings are out there. We do have a deals section with codes and tips and things like that. And we publish our eBytes newsletter out there. If you do have anything for the eBytes newsletter, you can send it to me and we'll include it with the next month. And that's the link to the site. We also send the link to the site with all the emails that we send out. Currently, we're doing the club survey. I do this club survey every year, and I think I've done it for the last almost 25 years now. So far, 49 people have replied. Thank you very much for taking the time and replying there. If you haven't, you still have until December 22nd to take the survey. The survey is a quite long survey. We ask about topics that you're interested in, but we also ask about the number of smartphones you have and tablets and the operating systems you're using, and we use this information when we give presentation and an aggregation to see trends and things like that. So next month topic on trends, I'll be talking about a number of things from the survey also. So that's the way we keep in touch and get your feedback there. Okay, our main topic today is going to be smart devices by myself, Tom Kreuzer. We'll talk about a whole bunch of different devices. Can't go into a whole lot of detail on them because we don't have that much time. I could spend hours on each of these different devices, but we'll touch on them, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I use and how I use it there. And certainly at the end, if you have questions or comments, we look forward to that. So let's get started. Smart devices. We've been waiting for years, ever since the Jetsons, or at least I have. I grew up with the Jetsons and that futuristic space. Almost everything that the Jetsons have, we now have, except for the flying spaceships and a few things like that. But a lot of the electronic devices, whether it's stuff on the wrists, TVs, communication, all of that stuff is there now. They're changing our lives for the better. They can make your life so much easier there. And the prices of these devices are dropping. And the features added to these devices are happening all the time. So it's an exciting time right now. First, a little definition. My definition of a smart device is an electronic device that connects to other devices or to networks. To a network to create the Internet of Things. So if you've ever seen the I, small o-t, that's the Internet of Things. And that just basically means we're starting to connect all these things together. Now, setting up a lamp to turn on and off at your command is pretty simple and relatively inexpensive to do. But others, to set up a surveillance system, can require a serious investment of time, money, and monthly subscription. So you want to be aware of all these things before you start and see what you're going to do there. I mentioned here over 90% of the people in the U.S. have at least one smart device. And we'll talk more about that, I think, in another slide or two. Okay, before you buy any device, what are some things that you should look for? Well, most of the devices come with their own app or software, or go out to a website to do the setup. But if you want to smarten them up, it takes a little planning on what devices to buy and how to connect them. Because not all devices can connect to each other. So some devices only operate by themselves, while others will interact with multiple manufacturers. Most of the devices work with the assistants that are out there. And the assistants, if you're not familiar, are like Amazon's Alexa. And if you do have an Alexa device, you're probably going to want to mute it or turn it off, because I'll be saying the magic word multiple times during this presentation and even doing some examples in that. So if you do have one of these Amazon devices, you may want to mute it. Also, in addition to Amazon, Google has its Google Assistant and Apple has its Siri. The assistants can be used to turn on and off lights, view cameras, control TVs, change thermostat, temperature, open doors, and thousands of tasks. You can also string tasks together. A single command can trigger multiple tasks on multiple devices. An example there is if you have a smart garage door opener, you may have it if the garage door gets opened and it's after 4 p.m. I want to turn on the lights. I want to turn up the heat. I want to unlock the front door. You can string commands together to these different devices to make your life easier. Okay, Most people will set up the devices themselves, and that's what I highly recommend is people set up their own devices. Some people do hire professionals to install these devices, but if you do hire a professional, be aware that any change or any addition or in some cases even upgrading of these devices, you're going to have the professional come out and make the changes. Because if you don't know how these devices were configured, you're not going to be able to make changes to them. Some of the devices do require a monthly fee, especially some of the video devices, because if you want to store all the video, it has to store it someplace, and that usually costs money. Some devices may also need a cell phone connection, and that can cost money, or things like monitoring, especially for home surveillance, or if you're looking for senior alert. Things like that. Some of those, there's services out there for that. Another important consideration is all these devices. With all these devices, they have to get their power from somewhere. And certainly some of the devices you're going to be close enough to plug it into a wall outlet. The devices that are more portable or maybe outside or things like that, they may come with a battery. They may have a rechargeable battery. Some of the outdoor cameras, as an example, the battery will last 3 months or 6 months, and you have to recharge it. There's also some of the devices will have a solar option if they're outdoor. So that can be an important consideration where you place it and what devices you buy. Okay, so let's start talking about smart devices. As I mentioned, prices continue to come down to as low as $5. You can buy smart, which to me is incredible because these are devices that provide a particular function, but they also have a little mini computer in there. They connect to Wi-Fi. They make all these connections, and the devices are selling for $5. To me, it's just incredible there. And new devices are being added all the time with new features and functions. I make this statement here. Consider buying a smart device when your old dumb device dies. So an example there is you're buying a new washer dryer. Well, a number of the new washer dryers are smart washer dryers. They'll connect to the internet. You can see whether they're on, whether there's any problems. If filters have to be replaced. So if you're buying refrigerators, stoves, washer dryers, those are the large appliances, but even small ones when you're replacing a lamp. When a clock radio dies, do you need a clock radio or is a smart assistant better? So all of these things there's usually smart devices that you can buy. You can search the internet for the latest devices, the features, and the prices of these devices. Now, I talked about what is a smart device. Well, in the case of the 3M Computing Club, everybody in the club that responded to the survey last year said that they had a smartphone. Well, if you have a smartphone, you have a smart device, because a smartphone is a smart device. In the U.S., 90% of the people usually own one of these, so that's where almost everybody's got a smart device there. Another smart device that a lot of people have is if you have a car, usually within the last 7 to 10 years there, that car comes with a computer in it. And that computer in there, you can connect it to your phone, you can log errors, so you'll hear about people are taking it into the shop and they plug it in. Well, you can actually buy that plug-in for your smartphone, and you can see what the errors are that your car is throwing out. And now a lot of cars have the safe driving alerts, lane warning, things like that. So there's a lot of smart devices built into cars now. Okay, Let's talk about other popular smart devices, and the one that a lot of people have, again, especially if you bought a new TV in the last 10 years or more, it's hard not to buy a TV that isn't a smart TV. And if you don't have a smart TV, or even if you do have a smart TV, many people have TV boxes, things like a Roku or an Apple TV device or an Amazon Fire or that. So there's a number of these. And having a smart TV or one of these devices lets you load apps. And the ability of the apps will give you streaming content. It could be live content, could be on demand, could be from services like Netflix, Hulu Plus, HBO Max, AT&T, and many others. There's also thousands of free streaming services also. Things like Peacock, Pluto, Tubo, Crackle, even stations like Twin Cities Public Television, Channel 2. There's free streaming services from them of a number of their shows and capabilities. These TVs or these boxes also let you stream music and podcasts from things like Spotify, Pandora, YouTube Music, and Apple Music. Frequently, these devices also will let you stream social media like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also use video chat services like Skype. You could be watching this team meeting over your large screen TV, or FaceTime or Zoom through your TV. So there's lots of things that these devices can do. Another thing that they can do is usually mirror or share pictures or video from a smartphone or a tablet onto your TV. And that's usually done using a function called Google Chromecast or Apple AirPlay. So there's lots of things that can be done. Web browsing. Web browsing can be challenging unless you add a wireless keyboard or voice option. And that's the other thing. Most of these TVs, yes, they do come with a remote, but it's rather hard to deal with if you're having to type quite a bit there. Well, almost all these TVs, you can buy a Bluetooth wireless keyboard and connect it to your TV and use that for input also. So lots of options there. Some of the TVs come with built-in voice and video assistant. So the TV is like having an Amazon Alexa built into the TV or a Google Assistant. Those TVs usually have a mic or remote. They may also have a camera built into the TV. So, and they can cost a little bit more. Usually you don't find this on the $299 TV, but you might find it on the $499 TV. The thing that you can do with this, even if the TV doesn't have the voice assistant, is you can usually control your TV using a voice assistant. So I have Amazon Alexas, and I have a Samsung TV that I bought at Costco for $399. I connected them, added it to the video assistant, and now I can control the power on, the mute, the volume, change channels, playback, change input, and more. And I don't do a whole lot with the voice other than if I get a telephone call and I want the TV muted there, I can just say, Alexa, mute the TV, and the TV's muted. So lots of nice things that you can do. Most of these TVs, because they're smart, also have an on-screen universal search engine or guide, TV guide. This will save you time when you're looking for a program or don't know which channels or apps. Voice works best and is the easiest for input on those. So you want a TV that does support voice input. Okay, the next most popular devices in the smart category are the smart speakers. And the smart speakers you have things like Amazon Alexa, Google Now, and Apple Siri. They allow you to play music, radio, podcasts, answer questions, order anything, weather, time, create shopping lists, set alarms, and connect to other smart products in your home. You can also make calls, you can send messages, and thousands of other tasks. Prices vary from $20, so you can get Amazon Dots, the simplest, for about $20 to $300. There are monthly subscriptions for some services, like there's a senior care hub feature that is professionally monitored, but most of the things that people use and do, there's no monthly fees, and you have access to all these things. Personally, I have 7 Amazon Dots. I mentioned here I paid $1 to $25 in my house. I was recently at a church sale in October, last October, and they had 2 Amazon Dots there for $1 a piece. So I scooped them up. I put Amazon Dots in my workroom, in my garage, in my bathroom. I have them all over the house there, so I can utilize the capabilities and ask questions and add things to my to-do list, add things to my calendars, check my calendars. I can do all that anywhere. I also put a couple in my dad's apartment. My dad, as I've mentioned before, is still living. He'll be turning 97 in less than a month there, and he's in independent senior living, so he's living on his own. But I put him in there to make his life a lot easier. So they really can be a godsend for things like that. I use mine to turn on lights. I can turn on and off my lights. I have Christmas lights, and I can independently turn those on with voice. I mentioned the TV. I can mute it. I can add things to my calendar. So instead of me having to take out a phone to add a calendar entry, I can just tell Alexa there to add a calendar entry, and it saves me all the typing and everything there. Also, for my parents, I'd set up pill reminders 3 times a day. You can use it as a radio, so you can get rid of radios and music. You can ask questions, weather, sports scores, and much more. Also, I set up my dad so that at any time he can call for help. And if he says call for help, Alexa call for help, that'll call my cell phone number and also sends me an emergency text message. So lots of capabilities there. What we'll do is I'll do a little demo, and because I didn't want to do a live demo here, I recorded a demo just in case there was other issues there. But we'll listen to me going through various commands there with my Alexa. So 1 second here. Let me get over, where am I here? Media player. So this is a recording, a voice recording.
Alexa, weather.
Right now in St. Paul, it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun. Tonight's forecast has mostly clear skies, with a low of 38 degrees.
Alexa, what's my flash briefing?
Tom, here's the latest from your flash briefing. Sorry, the New York Times briefing's updates are not available right now. In weather, currently, in Highland it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies.
Stop. Alexa, tell me about the movie Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer is a 2023 biography film starring Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, and Matt Damon. The story of American scientist, J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, what's on ABC TV tonight?
Here's what's on ABC tonight. At 9:01, there's a new episode of Press Your Luck. At 10:35, there's a new episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live. At 11:37, there's Nightline. At 4, back-to-back episodes of America This Morning.
Alexa, play the station WCCO.
News Talk 830 WCCO from Odyssey.
With the Astros at age 16 as an outfielder. And
Alexa,
later,
cancel. Alexa, play the Frank Sinatra station.
The station Frank Sinatra on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. So it can play just about anything. The radio stations, all kinds of things, even podcasts. Alexa, play the AARP Perfect Scam podcast. Alexa, stop. Alexa, play the AARP Perfect Scam podcast.
Getting the Perfect Scam from Amazon Music. Here's episode 166, Dog Hospice Victimized by Bank Impersonation Fraud.
This week on the
Alexa,
Scam.
stop. Alexa, set an alarm for 5 minutes.
5-minute alarm set for 4:53 p.m.
Alexa, add an event to my calendar.
Got it, Tom. What day and time?
Friday, 8 a.m.
And what's the name of the event?
Eat breakfast.
Okay, I've added that.
Alexa, add orange juice to my shopping list.
I've put orange juice on your shopping list.
Alexa, what's on my shopping list?
You have 7 items on your shopping list. Orange juice. Waffles. Eggs. Milk. Cherries. Peanut butter. Bread.
Alexa, add to my to-do list.
What can I add for you?
Rake leaves.
I've added I'll break leaves to your to-do list.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
How do you talk to an amoeba? With a microbe phone.
Alexa, how do you spell Mississippi?
Mississippi is spelled M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
Alexa, how many ounces in a cup?
1 cup is 8 fluid ounces.
Alexa, Wikipedia, Antarctica.
Antarctica is Earth's southernmost and least populated continent, situated almost entirely south of the Antarctic Circle and surrounded by the Southern Ocean. It contains
Alexa, stop. Alexa, how do you say thank you, Grandma, in Italian?
Thank you, Grandma, in Italian is Grazie nonna.
Alexa, call Tom Kreuzer.
What should I call? Tom Kreuzer's phone or Alexa devices?
Phone.
Calling Tom Kreuzer's mobile.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, what is the Apple? Alexa, stop. Alexa, what is the Apple stock price?
When the market closed, Apple traded at $178.39 on the Nasdaq, down 0.3% since previous close.
Alexa, who is the smartest person in the world?
Tom Kreuzer is the smartest person in the world. He has an IQ of 98,765. And is good looking too.
Well, I guess you can't argue with these smart computers here.
Okay, we'll get back to the presentation. I mean, it's nice that Alexa knows that I'm the smartest person in the world. Actually, that's you can create your own procedures or responses in Alexa, and so I programmed that in there, and it took me all of a couple of minutes to put that in there. So it's quite easy. If anyone asks that question while they're in my house or connected to my Alexa system, they're going to get the response that I programmed in there. So And you can have it do anything that you want. Okay, let's continue on with smart devices. In addition to the audio devices, the smart devices, you have video assistants, and they're quite handy. They can do everything that a voice assistant can do, plus they can do video calls, streaming TV, security camera. You can view, you can get your notifications. And the screen, you can get it anywhere from 5 inches to 12 inches. You can also get smart video assistants where the camera follows the sound, which is very nice if you're doing video chats with grandchildren or friends and family there. They have a touch screen and more. The model that I show below is an Amazon Echo Show. It's got a 5-inch screen. You can get it for as low as $39 to $49, so relatively inexpensive there. Some other examples: Google Nest, $229, Facebook Portal, $200, and many others. They act like a tablet, but they're not exactly like a tablet. So they're made to be in your kitchen or in your office or wherever you want, but they can do many things the same way as a tablet, but they aren't a tablet. Personally, I have a couple of Echo Shows, and I also put one in my dad's apartment. What you can do at any time, again, you have to set up permissions on both of the devices, but I can drop in on him at any time and talk to my dad. The drop in means that he doesn't even have to answer. So if I just want to see what he's doing or that, I can drop in and view his camera, and he can view, or we can talk, things like that. I can also view my home security cameras. I have a number of cameras. I can show family photo slideshows on there and much more. So let's take a look at some of the features there. I'll be showing a video here. And the video I took with my smartphone of the little 5-inch screen there. So the quality isn't the best, but it'll give you an idea of what the capabilities of some of these devices are. So let's go back here to the media player, and I've got a little video here.
Okay, this is a sample that I shot using my phone, taking a picture of my Amazon Echo Show 5-inch. Currently, the Echo is kind of showing some of the highlights, news articles, things like that. It'll also show slideshows of photos that I've uploaded to Amazon Photos. Amazon does give you 5 gigabytes of free space that you can put photos on. So I have put those up there. And today I shot this May 7th, about 1:31. And let's go through a few of the features there. One of the features that you have, similar to the voice, is we can drop in on somebody. And so let's drop in on my dad. Alexa, drop in on John Kreuzer. And it takes it just a few seconds to connect there. And so you can see he's laying on his couch right now. And we'll disconnect. Alexa, exit. So you can do the drop-in, and that's very nice. I can check in on my dad this way. We can actually have a conversation. You can also use it for video calls or chats. Some cameras will follow and actually zoom in on the person who is talking, depending on the type of device that you get there. But it can be used for Skype or Zoom calls. You once you've loaded your contacts and information there. If you don't want to be disturbed, you can activate a Do Not Disturb, or there's a button on the device to not take any calls or interruptions there. Another thing it can do is Alexa, open Stream Player. Alexa, open Stream Player.
Welcome to Stream Player. What would you like to do?
Stream Player will let you look at a number of things. Launch ABC News.
This TV channel is not available, or I might have misunderstood you. Please say, for example, start ABC News or start Channel 1. Please try again.
ABC News.
Launching ABC News Live.
Now give it to him.
Gabriel will take anything, even
So
a
here
glass of water.
currently showing a free TV station.
Outside.
And there's a number of TV stations that are available.
I think
You can
Rebecca
set up also if you have other streaming services.
Andy, I can't believe you did that.
Alexa, exit. You can also watch videos on YouTube, so you can go out there and you can watch them on there. You can watch movie trailers, news briefings. If you have Prime Video, you can watch the movies and things like that. If you have a Hulu subscription, you can watch that. Alexa, play the trailer for Wonder Woman.
The gods gave us many gifts. One day you'll know them all. This is where we keep them.
It's beautiful.
Alexa, exit. Alexa, show me the back door.
Okay.
So if you have security cameras in that, and if they're compatible with Alexa, which most of them are, you can do that. So this is the back door out my room there. 1 second, I'm going to run outside and wave. Alexa, exit. So you can look at your different security cameras, some of them, even the notifications of movement or car approaching or things like that. You could get that on the device, which is very nice. You can show or control your other smart devices, like your lights on and off, and just like you can do with the voice, you can do everything that they can do. Some are smart hubs for other smart devices. You can also upload your photos. Like I mentioned, I'm going through slideshows here, but you can upload your photos to Facebook and you can watch those, either from Facebook or Amazon Photos. You can also do things like Alexa, show me pictures of cats.
Here's what I found online.
And the screen itself is a touch screen, so if I move my finger, I can either scroll across, I can see things. I want to do...
Okay, I'm going to pause that. You've seen some of the capabilities that you have in a smart video. There's again, thousands of different things that you can do with these devices. My sister has a Facebook portal. She uses it for video chats of the grandchildren. Works great. Some other smart devices. So we have things like light bulbs. Light bulbs you can turn on or off, dim, change colors, things like that. Prices of these bulbs start at $6 to $30. You can. I personally don't use the smart light bulbs. I use a smart plug that we'll talk about next. But there's a number of good ones. Wise makes a good bulb that was rated by CNET as the best value. Electric plugs. This is one of the simplest smart devices to set up. You just plug it into an outlet and then plug another device into it, and then you can control it. You can turn it on or off, and you can schedule. So I have lamps plugged into it and schedule things there. So you can do all kinds of things. And I mentioned here I have Epi Home monitoring or using it for several lights. It has that on a schedule. The smart plug itself doesn't support a schedule, but because I integrate it with Alexa, I can set up routines. And so I set up a routine to turn it on 30 minutes before sundown and then turn it off when I go to bed at night. So there's things like that that you can do. Also, I have one for a heater that'll turn on for X number of minutes and then turn off so that I don't accidentally leave the heater on. And you can buy all kinds of these plugs. The last set of plugs, I bought 6 of them that I use for my outdoor Christmas lights and indoor lights around and stuff like that. I bought those at Menards, and I think the last I had seen, they had a sale of like 4 for $20 you can get. So you can get smart plugs very inexpensively. Video cameras. Lots of video cameras out there, both indoor and outdoor. The cameras themselves, you have options, usually cloud versus local storage. Security, if you're going to use them for security and notifications, whether they're triggered by sound or movement or both. Some of them will also do facial recognition, night vision. Quality of the videos vary from 1K to 2K to 4K. Some of them will pan, some of them will zoom. Most of them have two-way audio, do time lapse, and then the power. If you're going to have them outdoors, is it battery, solar, or are you going to plug it in? You can use it to monitor your doors, your kids, your pets, your parents. Prices vary from $20 to $400. And then if you do want cloud storage, there's going to be fees for the amount of video that you're storing in the cloud there. So there's options with those. I have had 4 Wise cameras. This goes back, I don't know, I forgot how long ago it was, 6-7 years ago. I started with, or 8 years ago, I guess. I started with Wise, and they started out at $19.99. You can still buy some of their models for like, I think, $24. It'll give me notifications of people and movement. If I want more sophisticated notifications telling me through facial recognition who it is, then you can buy services. Services start as low as $99 or 99 cents per month per camera, or $7.95 for unlimited number of cameras. You can get, they do give false notifications, so if you just have it sending you messages when it detects movement, if there's snow or rain or bugs, or over the years I've had cats and raccoons and rabbits set off the cameras there too. So just be aware that you can set the sensitivity and the areas that it monitors, but you're always going to get some false feeds and things like that. I can also view a live feed at any time, similar to the video assistant. When I went and looked at my backyard, I can do things like that. The Wise cameras provide free video storage of a 12-second clip, and it keeps them for 2 weeks. If you want more than that, or the entire movement, you can buy one of the features there, and that's those advanced features. You can also put an SD card in the Wyze cameras that lets you locally store the video, and depending on how big a SD card, you can have a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of activity, or the entire time there. I also put Wyze cameras in my dad's living room apartment, to do safety checks and notifications. So it notifies me when he's up and around, and so I know that he's doing stuff there. And this I mentioned, PC Magazine did a review of the Wyze version 3 camera. It's water resistant, solid performer, color night vision, extremely low price. The main limitation is 1K video. Some of the newer cameras are 2K or 4K, but for the price of $35. This is an example of one of my cameras pointed out through my garage, and this is a camera pointed out through my back. So you can have them indoors pointed out, or you can have it outdoors. It's up to you where you have it. This is an example of the app showing what this front and back camera look like in the app there. And this is a bigger blow up of the one pointed out the front. This is me talking with my neighbor here. It's 1080p. You can download the video, you can share it. This is from a few years ago. The cameras have only gotten better, better and clearer and stuff like that. Okay, thermostats. You can get thermostats. They programmable, tell you what's going on, things like that. So they're very good. Door locks. You can put in smart door locks, enable you to geofence, notifications, things like that. Video doorbells, same type of deal. Those are very popular with people. Get notifications when somebody walks up to the door or a package is being delivered. Prices of these video doorbells range from about $80 to $300. And then again, there's some services that you can sign up to store the video for longer periods. Security kits. That's usually a combination of cameras and detectors. You have them, and then you can choose to do self-monitoring or professional monitoring. Other devices, you have outdoor floodlights for steps. You have tracking devices, so the Apple AirTags and the Tiles, those are smart devices. And so if you want to track your luggage or put it on a car or put it on anything that you want to keep track of there. You have robots, garage door openers, watches, washing machines, refrigerators, ovens, appliances, window shades, pet feeders, grills, cooking, vacuum, just about anything that you can think of, they're smart devices for. This is a list from last year's survey where 46 of the people had responded that they had smart home devices. This is the devices that they have, and so you can see the numbers here, and I haven't accumulated the numbers for this year's survey, but I guarantee that more people are using more smart devices, and it's just going to continue to go up because the cost of these devices and the features and functions just continue to grow there. Okay, that concludes there. Let me stop sharing here, and then I'll open it up for questions. If I can do this, let me get back here, and let me turn my camera back on. So if you do have a question, if you want to unmute yourself and show your video, you can do that, or you can put it in the chat there. Questions, comments?
Tom, I'll just say that was a very impressive demonstration, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, Paula. There's a lot of features and functions, and I can't go into a lot of detail on some of this, but I want to get people interested in it because, as I mentioned earlier, if any of your devices in your house fail, the toaster fails, you can get a smart toaster now. So you can replace these devices with smart devices. Some of them may not provide the most functionality, but certainly things like garage doors and video cameras and connecting them into your other devices, the possibilities are endless.
Tom, this is Bonnie, and I just want to say you have totally outdone yourself, way above expectations. That presentation was awesome. So I hope it's posted out on the website. Thanks.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll mention too, everything that I did with my Alexa, I do not have an Amazon Prime account, and I do not pay for any external service or function. So everything that I did, the slideshow, anybody can set up an Amazon account for free. You can upload 5 gigabytes of photos, and the slideshow is available there. All those TV stations or things like that, there's thousands of free TV stations and different deals. So don't be scared away that it's going to be costly. No, and in fact, if you put an Amazon Dot in the house, and you spend $20 or $25 on an Amazon Dot, that Amazon Dot can replace your radio that you used to have, your a number of devices that you used to have in your house there for doing things. Uh, it's I don't even have to roll over in the morning or in the middle of the night and see what time it is, because all I do is I say, Alexa, what time is it? And it tells me what time it is. I keep my eyes closed, everything works there.
I'll take one question to start with here.
Sure.
I've got Google for home use, and it used to be that I could ask it to play a specific song title from a specific artist. No, not paying for any services or anything like that. Now it seems like it always just forces me into some quote-unquote station that seems to match a song title, not the one I asked for, but a song title from the artist, but not the artist's music at all. What's the key to getting customized? Do you have to sign up for services for that normally?
It can change, and I'm not as familiar with Google there. I'm more familiar with the Amazon, but Google has relationships with YouTube. They own YouTube and YouTube Music. I would imagine it's in some cases what you have to ask the devices is you have to ask the devices to play from the various services. And so if you do have other accounts, you can kind of connect those accounts in. If you don't, what I'd recommend is maybe Google the question there, and you'll see what other Google people are doing. Maybe it's just a case of phrasing it. I want this played from this to this, that kind of a thing. But there should be lots of free content, and especially things like Spotify. You don't have to have a Spotify subscription to get access. When I played the Frank Sinatra, that's Frank Sinatra. There's multiple Frank Sinatra stations out on Spotify for free, and so it's a matter of finding how to activate that. But I'm sure you can activate almost anything that you want there. Okay?
Okay. All right, thanks.
You're welcome. I'll look at the chat here. James is asking, for the Wise cameras, they say that it can be recorded for 14 days. Have you done this or know how it works? What Wise does is, I went over it quickly, but the Wise camera, if you want it to record, it can record up to 12-second clips of activity. So if there's motion within the camera, it records it. It can send a notification. That notification and that recording is done up on their cloud server and is available for you to view up to 14 days, and that's free. If you that 12-second clip, it stops after 12 seconds and will not reactivate until 5 minutes later. So if you wanted continuous recording, that's where you would need a monthly subscription there. The way that I get around some of that is I have cards, SD cards in my cameras. Now I'm giving away security here. People would know to break into my house, take the cameras and take out the SD cards, but the SD cards are recording all the time. And so if I get a notification that something happened, or even if I don't get a notification, I can go back to my cameras and say, let's say at 2 a.m. last night, what was going on at 2 a.m., I can look and see what was going on at 2 a.m. But that's getting the video off of my local camera. It's not getting it off of Wise cloud servers there. So if that makes sense. If you go out to the website, it's explained a little more. And Wise is, if you don't want to mess with SD cards or that, then you can subscribe to the cloud storage. The one thing that I will, and it's not just a Wise function, it's really any camera. If you do not have a fast internet connection, or if you have a whole bunch of cameras,
the following week.
if you have a whole bunch of cameras, that can use almost all your bandwidth to send the video up to the cloud. So if you're streaming that and storing all of the video all of the time up to the cloud, that can slow down or cause problems for your internet connection. Okay. John says a lot of devices related to health monitoring are being advertised, like blood pressure, EKG, even your scales. I have blood pressure. I have that. That is a smart device, and the app I have on my phone that connects to the device, which puts all the readings and stuff like that up there. So when I go to the doctor, everything's there. And certainly, if you have an Apple smartwatch, there's a lot of health monitoring and things like that out there too. Okay. Other questions or comments?
I've got a different task. You didn't talk about it much, but home sensors. I'm specifically looking for a water sensor to put down near the drains in the basement in case something backs up. It warns me instead of going down and finding I've got 4 inches of water down there. I'm trying to find something that's hopefully without a hub, so it's more direct. Works with Wi-Fi versus a lot of them seem to be the sensor talks to their device may or may not talk to Google. It may just talk to your phone. So some of them seem to be harder to integrate. Do you have any comments, suggestions on that line?
Yeah, that kind of goes back to, I covered it real quick at the beginning, is when you are building a system, just like you mentioned, some smart devices require a hub or a connecting device there. So if you do need that, then obviously you're buying in kind of to that system. What you're seeing is some of the voice assistants will come with built-in hub capability. So depending on the assistant that you have, that can provide the hub, or you may have to buy another $49 hub or something like that to connect in. In terms of water sensors, there's 2 approaches. One is kind of like you talked about. It's a water sensor. You place it. When it gets wet, it sends a notification. The other is a more sophisticated that you put in line on your main line into the house. Those tend to cost between $100 and $200 and have to be installed usually by a plumber. They monitor the flow of water into the house and will detect leaks and automatically shut off if it thinks that there's a leak or a problem in the house there. And it can also notify you that there's a large amount of usage and maybe you're watering, you've got sprinklers going all over the house. Well, okay, that's a warning there. Yes, you'll let it continue. Otherwise, it can automatically shut down. So they're getting better and better and more options now, I guess is what I'd say there.
Yeah, the water monitoring coming in really won't solve this because this is a potential sewer backup. You flush the toilet or take a shower or whatnot, that's expected known water usage. You expect it to be going out. I'm trying to make sure that it is going out. So
okay, most people are more concerned with their water heater. An old water heater starting to leak, and so the water detection. Actually, this is the first that I've heard, which makes sense that you could use it for a backup there. If there is in the basement a backup, but most people, including myself, the first concern usually is an old water heater or a leak, and then getting a flooded basement because the water heater was compromised and the water is just running rampant there. But yeah, certainly good uses and things like that. Any other questions or comments?
Tom, for everyone's benefit, if you have a Ring security camera or a security system at your home, they sell a water sensor, a little puck for about $35 that you can add to your Ring, and it'll tell you when the water touches the contacts. But of course, you have to have a Ring security, which is what I have. Just thought I'd throw that out there. It's kind of expensive if you consider the Ring.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ed. I have the Google products here, Nest/Google, since they bought out one another or whatever. So that's been my problem, is that most of the devices, like the Ring Puck, need that hub, and I don't have that, so I'm trying to find something that's more independent. D-Link seems to have something that's $80 for the device. I'm not convinced that it's exactly going to be what I have, and nobody seems to have it locally to be able to actually go and take a look at a package. So,
okay, I didn't know if you had a Ring or not. That's a cheap option.
Took the wrong route when those options came up.
Yeah, no, we had floods at our last house in Woodbury. Woodbury's got a high water table, and so it didn't happen during when I owned the home, but they had a flood, and so we put in we brought into the Ring system, and then they had a little sensor. They eventually released a sensor that you can add, and so I put it in my new home. That's the worst thing. You don't want to have your septic. I'm sorry, not your septic, but in my case, the sump overflowing if your sump fails.
And I think you bring up a good point, Ed, and that depending on the devices that you have, there may be some reliance on services or connectivity. The other thing that you do run into is these devices, typically they come out with a new one every year or 2 years. So they're improving on them, but it also means that what you buy today and the features and functions that you have, you're going to see better and better features a year from now and 2 years from now, and then you have to make the decision of, do I buy a new device? And in the case of my cameras, I've got a combination of version 1 cameras, version 2, and version 3 cameras. So it's a case of usually the devices still work, it's just that the capabilities get better and better. Okay, any other questions or comments?
I agree with that.
Otherwise, thanks for joining. Have happy holidays and a happy new year there. And we'll see you next year then. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Tom.
Yep, thank you.